Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm Herbalist Leosade. I help people who struggle with chronic conditions grow their health from the roots up. Today I wanted to speak about polyphenols, but before I hop right in, let me remind you that this video is for educational purposes. I don't claim to diagnose, treat, or heal anything on YouTube. But rather, if you feel like you are struggling with chronic conditions and you want to reach out to me, you can find me at www.threefoldherbalhealing.com/consult. I do offer 20 minutes free consultation, so reach out and we can chat. But right now, let's go right in and talk about polyphenols. Herbs work not because some new agey energetic magic, but because of their chemistry. Every time that you take a plant, or even not a plant, even an animal, but every time you take a plant, be it a vegetable or an herb, into your body will start metabolizing it, which means that the body breaks down the green molecules from the plants in a series of chemical reactions to smaller and smaller molecules. In each step in the process, the molecules are modified, creating new substances that have a variety of actions and a variety of potency. So small molecules can have more action and different action or different potency than bigger molecule. Size doesn't mean anything. Basic class in nutrition teaches us about macronutrients. You'll learn probably about carbohydrate, protein, and fats. If you dug a little bit deeper, maybe they taught you about vitamins and minerals. But plants contain millions of compounds that we don't know a lot about. And those compounds are secondary metabolites. Those compounds are developed by plants in order to signal to other animals, other plants, or to humans. They are part of plant survival mechanism. And they work in synergy with each other. And the idea is that in herbalism, we don't talk about the active component or the active substance like in medicine. We rather talk about the relationship between the different compounds in the plant. So that's an important distinction between allopathic or conventional medicine and the way plant works in your body. So we are talking about polyphenols. So let's ask the question, what are polyphenols? Polyphenols are basically the largest group of secondary metabolite with over 8,000 different phenolic structures. So 8,000 different compounds known and many others that are still mystery. I'm not going to dive right into the chemistry in this video. There are 4 types of polyphenols. I'm going to focus really on the large group, which is the flavonoid. It's the most known group because it is the largest group. And the name flavonoid come actually from flavos, that means yellow in Latin. Different classes or subclasses of flavonoids have different colors. So this is where the color of a plant can start teaching us about its chemistry. So before we had chemistry labs, herbalists knew what's good for what by observing the plants. And one thing that they were observing is the color. Color has meaning. It says something about the affinity of a plant and what it can be useful for. So yellow or creamy tones of color signify the presence of flavones and flavones, such as quercetin, that we know is very helpful in allergies. Quercetin produces yellow pigmentation. You can see it in the yellow skin of onions, the center yellow of chamomile, the yellow Sejong wort, the blossom, and in goldenrod. The presence of flavonoids and flavanols suggest mast cell stabilization, which is again allergies, histamine reactions, and anti-inflammatory signaling. Another color that we are talking about is the red, purple, blue that suggests the presence of anthocyanins. Those are a subclass of flavonoids that are responsible for all this spectrum of red to blue. You can see it in berries, in red cabbage, in purple corn, in red roses, in hawthorn. The same anthocyanin molecules can actually shift color depending on the pH of the cell. So more acidic environment push toward red color and more alkaline environment toward blue color. This is why hydrangea color changes when the pH of the soil changes, which is fascinating. Anthocyanins have particularly strong affinity to the vascular tissue. So we are talking the heart, arteries, and veins. Those herbs are tonic for the vascular tissue. So hawthorn and blueberry are the most basic foundational tonic for the cardiovascular system. And the last group I want to talk about is the pale cream or white coloration. So those are more whitish things that suggest the presence of isoflavonoids, which bear structural similarity to estrogen. So we are talking about phytoestrogen. What are phytoestrogens? Those are compounds in plants that can actually bind to estrogen receptors in the body and initiate a similar response to estrogen, just weakened one. So plant with pale cream colors were used for breast cancer or for uterine cancer in order to reduce estrogen action in the body, because once those phytoestrogen block the estrogen receptors, they don't allow our innate estrogen to bind to those receptors, but their action is much more weaker than our own inner estrogen. So many plants, though, don't contain only one polyphenols. They have many flavonoids and they have multiple colors. It's not one color alone, it's different polyphenol can act in one plant having many action. Polyphenols are a flat molecule that is mostly fat-soluble molecule. Therefore, they are easily diffused through cell membranes into cell and can even bind into the nuclear receptors of cell and affect the DNA enzymes. They can alter gene expression and the way the body read and express genes. So basically, how it builds cells. Different polyphenol activate different cells transcription, which affect different gene clusters. A diet that is rich with polyphenols from different kind means a healthier gene expression. This is why we say it's the rainbow. It's different colors because it can shift your physiology. It's not an immediate pharmacological hit. Instead, you are gradually shifting your cells' DNA or landscape to prevent genetic conditions or genetic kind of shifts in the body, you kind of prevent damage to DNA. This is why it is used, polyphenols are used for cancer treatment many times. Okay, let's talk about the health benefit of polyphenols. So in the GI tract, polyphenols generally taste bitter, meaning they stimulate digestive enzyme and bile production, as well as liver enzymes and detox function. They modify the glycemic index, reducing glucose absorption and supporting healthy metabolism. So kind of preventing metabolic conditions and insulin resistance. In the liver, polyphenols can reduce oxidative stress, especially when you have liver damage due to very high toxicity. So drugs, alcohol, maybe somebody tried all kinds of mushrooms that ended up being toxins. What we have is the liver trying to detox very fast, get rid of all of that, and then you start to see oxidative stress and damage to the liver. So polyphenols don't by themselves, they have antioxidant compound in them, but those antioxidants are in small amount. What they actually do is they increase the body's innate ability to produce glutathione. And glutathione is the antioxidant that we produce in the body. And the antioxidant that we produce in the body is especially important in the liver because there is a lot of oxidative stress associated with the detox process, especially if there is a crisis, if there is liver damage or there is increased toxicity in the liver. But it is true that glutathione also protects cells from DNA damage because of oxidative stress and protects organs of the body that need more oxidation, more energy, like the heart and the brain and the kidney need more glutathione to protect them because when producing more energy, you also create more oxidative stress. In the cardiovascular system, I already said blood carries nutrient, oxygen, hormones, enzyme, immune cells, everything. Every tissue in the body needs blood. Some tissue more than other, but every tissue in the body. Healthy blood vessels are essential for the function of all the cells, all the tissues, and all the organs in the body. And by protecting the blood vessels, polyphenols have profound effect on every cell in the body. And again, in the nervous system, through the gut-brain connection, through microbiome, and the connection to the brain, it really is a mind-blowing connection. But polyphenols can feed gut bacteria, which through fermentation of the phenolic acid create metabolites that can cross the gut-brain barrier and protect the brain from inflammation and from the increase of oxidative stress in the brain, but they are also exhibit GABAergic activity, so they calm the nervous system. So polyphenols can actually calm you down, help you sleep a good night's sleep, but also suppress the breakdown of acetylcholine, so they increase focus and memory. So if you want to increase your focus and memory on the one hand and decrease um, um, insomnia, depression, anxiety, and inflammation in the brain, eat the rainbow. We are going back and back to the same way. The best way to have polyphenols is in food. It's really eating as many vegetables and fruit as possible, in as many color as you can master. You can add polyphenols to water or to smoothies, or you have them in tea. That's the best way that I think you can have polyphenol. Eat them, drink them, add them to smoothie. I don't like tincturing polyphenols for the polyphenols. When I tincture herbs for other substances, it might include some of the extract some of the polyphenols, but I believe the best way to catch all the polyphenols is just to eat them. So that's me blurbing about polyphenols. They are very useful. My tip for today is eat the rainbow, not surprisingly. I want to remind you again that if you need help with any condition, I am here for you. Contact me at threefoldherbalhealing.com, consult, to have a 20 minutes herbal consultation with me for free. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I hope you find it beneficial. And I'll see you next week when I will talk about hawthorn, one of the first polyphenols that I'm going to zoom on. Bye.